I got 2 jerseys in here for you guys.
I have only one expectation, and that's to win. And that doesn't matter if it's a game or a season. We're going to put together a team that can compete and win.
Welcome, Galaxy fans. It is the 2021 Major League Soccer season. It is underway, and your LA Galaxy is 1-0 with a home opener just days away. Hello again, and welcome, LA Galaxy family. Thank you for being here this evening and taking part in the Galaxy Town Hall. We hope you and yours are well. Believe me, yes, we do. We've been through a lot together, although we've been separated for far too long over the last year plus. And together, we'll continue to move forward and on to better days. Tonight's program will feature LA Galaxy manager Greg Vanney. We'll hear from the Galaxy captain, Jonathan Dos Santos, as well as 3 additions to this Galaxy roster this season as we look to get back to where the Galaxy belong. Defender Derek Williams, goalkeeper Jonathan Bond, and midfielder Victor Vasquez. Now, your participation, of course, is welcome, and we want you to be part of this. So please, don't be shy. Get your questions in the queue, and we'll get them throughout the evening. Also this evening, we'll take a look at your return to Dignity Health Sports Park. And boy, we can't wait to have you home. Also on the schedule of this Galaxy of Stars, you'll hear from Galaxy President Chris Klein and Dignity Health Sports Park General Manager Katie Pandolfo. They've been working very hard. They'll walk us through our first steps to a return to the DHSP. We know you have questions, so please submit them. Sunday, the Galaxy officially opened the 26th MLS campaign on the road at Miami and battled throughout, coming back twice behind a brace from Javier Chicharito Hernandez and the game winner from Sasha Kljestan as the Galaxy returned home with a 3-2 victory. And as mentioned, led by Greg Vanney. We know all about him when he played for the Galaxy not once but twice, but now he's back home and on the bench for the LA Galaxy, and he's back home having won an MLS crown when he was at Toronto. He made the adjustments necessary on Sunday, and he's leading this Galaxy team forward back to a culture that everybody wants to see again. And without further ado, let's bring on the manager of your LA Galaxy, Greg Vanney. Greg, how are you today?
I'm great, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Excited for the new season, if you haven't noticed. Happy to have some normalcy back, and I think you guys are as well, especially after the year you had, spending 7 months in a hotel, I believe, with your former club?
Yeah, we spent the better part of last year between Hartford and traveling and playing matches. It was nice to see our families again at the beginning of the year, and even better to be moving out to LA and settling in with the place that really feels like home, at the club that feels like home. So we're excited to be back, and things are getting underway, which is what we all love, which is playing matches and getting results.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the band getting back together. Kobe and I did one preseason game on Spectrum Sportsnet, and that was kind of the topic, getting the band back together. You brought back the Galaxy's first ever captain, Dan Calichman. You had him with you in Toronto. Galaxy goalkeeping legend Kevin Hartman runs your goalkeepers. Now you even brought back the fitness guy and Jim Liston, who was with you in Toronto. Getting all that back together, what was part of that? Obviously, you respect all those men that are with you today, but there had to be another reason as well.
Yeah, these are all guys that were a part of the original Galaxy crew, if you will, and some of us were on the field. Jim was our fitness coach and strength and conditioning coach even at that time. Over the years, we've remained great friends and work colleagues. And when I went to Toronto, they're the first people I called to bring them to Toronto to help and to be part of the franchise there. And so when we came back, it's a no-brainer. These are guys that I have huge respect for, that I learned a lot about the game from them. They were mentors when I was young, and I like to surround myself with people who are smarter than me and in their areas, and can always contribute to making to the environment and the players and everything we're trying to do better. And so these guys are friends, but they're more than that. They're very, very good at what they do, and that's why they're here. And they're also a big part of this club's history, which also makes it a little more special, as we know.
You touched a little bit about returning home. What's it mean to return to the LA Galaxy to you?
Yeah, I have a saying, and I use it with the players also, is they'll always remember how you make them feel. And this is the place that I felt most at home. And it's the relationships that I built at this club when I started as a young player and playing for Lothar Osiander and playing with Dan and Robin and Kobe and Mauricio and Hurtado and all of the guys, and I'm missing guys for sure that deserve to be in that discussion. Campos, and these are guys where I started to learn the game and at the professional level. And so they are all still friends and people that I talk to. And we were successful together. Unfortunately, we went to 3 finals, but didn't win one. But we were successful together. We achieved together, and we were close. And so, and with that was the club that was around us that helped to support us. And this has always felt like the place that I belong, and it just so happened to be the opportunity and the timing is right in this business for myself and the guys who came with me to come back and have a go from this side on the bench, as you said, and trying to lead the club from a different angle.
Well, 20 more minutes in 1996, and if Robin Fraser doesn't get injured in the opening minutes against DC in '99, things could have been different, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 overtime losses and a Fraser going down in the game. No excuses at this point, but we were in position and we didn't get it done, and so I'm back to try to get it done on the other side now.
Yeah, that would be just fine. I think a lot of people would be smiling about that. And listen, a lot of people are smiling about the first game. The Galaxy showed the fight I think you want to see from your club, fighting back not once but twice. You made the adjustments necessary. Chicharito got off and running, and another Galaxy player got his first goal in a Galaxy uniform, and Sasha Question. It turned out to be the game winner. So a lot of things went right in Miami, and not by accident.
Yeah, this is a group that has worked really hard through preseason, and a lot of guys have gotten opportunities through preseason, and they're still learning in terms of what we're trying to do. And it wasn't all going perfect for us. We had a lot of possession, but our possession wasn't turning into the chances that we wanted to create. And I felt like, as the game went on, we needed another attacker. We need something to pull the game forward. Our possessions were only going so far, and they were starting to die. And again, we weren't creating enough. So, the opportunity there was to put on an Ethan Zubak who runs and gives you this constant effort to stretch the defense and make defenders move them out of place. And he was creating some space for Javier then in front of the goal. So, it was something that we talked about at halftime. I laid it out for Javier and Victor that if, the next 10 minutes we didn't start to find some of the opportunities, what the adjustment was going to be. So we went with it. Guys knew it was coming and handled it well. And Ethan did what we wanted him to do, which was to get in the channels, to run, to drag one of those center backs around, and that gave Javier much more space in front of the goal for himself to work and to do what he does, which is to finish opportunities. So, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I thought it was, for me on this game, it was clear what we needed, and then the players stepped up. Every guy that we asked to come into the game to make a difference made a difference in the game. From Carlos to Sasha to Ethan to even Cam had a great chance when he came in. So every one of them contributed, and that's what we're going to need through a long, challenging season. Everybody has to contribute. Everybody has to come on and be a part of it. And the guys stuck with it. The conditions were hot and humid. And I think, for the first game of the season, when you're really just trying to get real 90 minutes under your belt to play in that kind of environment, I was really proud of the guys for digging down and continuing to fight. And the goals we gave up were not the type of goals that we want to give up. They were close calls, and I know they were demoralizing in some ways, but the guys stuck with it. And that's part of the culture that has to exist here. We're going to find ways to win no matter what, whether the weather's terrible or the refs make calls that we don't like. Whatever it is, we've got to find the solution, and we did on that day.
And it's always tough to win on the road. Those calls sometimes go against you, right?
Yeah, for sure. The difference, I think, in the offside, not offside first goal is if that linesman lifts his flag at the end of it, then I think they call offsides because I don't think VAR overturns it, right? And because he kept it down, just that one behavior, they didn't overturn it the other way. And so, and that was right at the break of half, and so you came in with a bitter taste in our mouths at halftime, and we got into it a little bit in terms of what we wanted to do to correct it, and the guys came out and put out a great effort in the second half to pull the game back.
So you've made a lot of changes to this club already. We haven't seen them all as they're still trickling on in, some recovering from injuries, some not yet ready to take the training pitch due to other things, travel and whatnot and visas and all that other stuff. But in terms of how you've molded this roster, what do you like about what you have together right now?
Yeah, we are a work in progress, and probably will be for a little while, to get the right characteristics and the right personalities on the field and in the team. And so what we have now, we have good soccer players, and both veteran guys and some young guys that are coming along and learning their trade and learning the game. But we have good soccer players, and we have guys who are competitive, and they listen and they want to be a part of the team and what we're trying to do, and they're compliant and they're going to do their jobs. And so that's what we have. We need to continue to add some things, I think, to our group in terms of what we saw, I think, on the weekend was our attacks failing to kind of get to that final level, which is behind the opposition, into the end line, into the deep spaces, which turn possessions into attacks and turn attacks into chances and chances into goals. We still want to add a little bit more on that side of things. That's to come also just within what we do in training. It's developing that habit so that people aren't always wanting the ball at their feet and playing a nice possession style game, but actually playing an attacking style game that has some bite at the end of it. And then we still want to tighten up some things on the defensive side. And we want to have depth, because the season is a grind and the league is challenging, and we're just starting, and as we get closer to the tail end of the season, we're going to be playing every 3 days down the stretch, and the travel that exists. We need to have some depth. We need to have some competition in our roster and some guys who bring different things to the team so that we have options to be versatile and flexible for different solutions for different days.
And you brought up a good point here. Roster rotation is going to be very important. And also what you did in the preseason, all the kids that played throughout the preseason, those were important minutes, I thought, even though maybe the outcome, the results weren't what you wanted. But they are preseason, and getting Jalen Neal out there and Cameron Dunbar contributing and Efrain Alvarez contributing, those are minutes that will be important, I believe, as the season progresses and you decide to implement it. You implemented Cameron Dunbar in the opener.
Yeah, every minute for the younger players is important for sure, in terms of just getting used to the intensity, the speed at which the game is being played. Obviously, in training, they're starting to understand what it is we're trying to do and what their roles are going to be in the team. But it's different when you get onto the game field and you're playing under the lights. And this year, unlike last year, there's going to be fans in the stadium, and so the environments are different. With that sometimes comes a little bit more nerves when you have fans that are opposing fans, or your own fans even, or even your family in the stadium. Sometimes that changes the emotion that players can feel. So all of these minutes are important for these younger guys, and the opportunity even for guys like for Sasha during preseason to really get a lot of minutes to understand what it is we're trying to do, because he's also an important thinker on the field in terms of where he positions himself and what he's thinking about how to manipulate the team. So the minutes are important for everybody, because everybody's going to play a role in this thing from beginning to end. And quite frankly, we were successful this weekend because the guys who came in off the bench really gave us the opportunity to win the game. And obviously Javier finished things off and Sasha finished things off, but it was the energy and the play of the guys that came in that tipped the bar in our favor, that gave us the opportunity to win.
I thought two players who really were able to play freely when you made those changes were Victor Vasquez, and a player that got into the game and became very dangerous, I thought, and that was Sebastian Lletget. Something to think about going forward, or you already have a mindset of how you want this team to play?
No, I think even in the structure that we had prior to that, they have more ability to be free. I think, Sebastian was getting a little bit caught coming too deep trying to find the ball, and we want him to stay a little bit higher, to stay a little more connected to Javier, as can Victor. Sometimes Victor is going to float around at times and pick up the ball. The thing we want as a team is Victor on the ball facing forward as much as possible is a positive thing for us. But then we need to have runners and players moving ahead of the ball so that he can find some solutions and that we can create some different opportunities and different solutions for him as well. But they have some freedom. But what happened for us when Ethan came on is spaces started to open up, because some of those runs that need to go behind the opposition to back up the back line or force a center back out of the middle of the field, chasing a runner, that started to happen. And so it started to give those guys a little bit more space to work and to operate and to receive balls higher in between lines, which made them more potent in the final action. And so it's definitely something that we can do and we will do at times. If anyone has followed me in terms of coaching, I like to be flexible. I will change the system, and our guys play off of a set of principles, not necessarily just off of a system-based concept. We play for principles and we have a style of play, and the structure doesn't necessarily define how we play. We do that based on what we think is going to give us the best advantage in the game.
And you just brought up another young player who contributed in a big way for you, and Ethan Zubak. And speaking of youth here, because I know there's a lot happening right now for you, settling in, everything's probably moving really fast, and hopefully it slows down for you quickly. However, there's something else to think about in terms of the LA Galaxy Academy and something Major League Soccer wants. And I know the Galaxy have been one of the first teams to get this thing going in terms of academy with a system of getting people up to the USL team and on to the big club. But what is your vision at this moment with the LA Galaxy Academy?
Well, I think, and this is more philosophical because I haven't been too involved so far in the academy side, is that from top to bottom, we have to have great collaboration as to what's going on at the top team and what's happening on the development side. Understanding that the development side takes time, and the first team's expectation is to win, and win frequently, and win right away. But in terms of preparing players to be successful at the first team, there has to be great collaboration in terms of what are these principles of play, what are the characteristics that we're looking for in players who play the different positions on the field. How do we want them to understand and read the game? Then there's the technical side of it. So it's how we work together, both from our side and the academy side, to identify and to teach and develop players to play what is the Galaxy style of play, and what is it the Galaxy's identity ultimately going to be. And that's what we are setting in stone right now. And I think it's something that when I talk to Chris and Jovan and Dennis and everybody who's working on the development side, that needs to be clear. I don't think it's been that clear for a little while as I've watched the club a little bit from a distance. We need to define that. It needs to be clear. And then the players who are coming through the system need to fit into that style of play and be ready for the transition into the first team. And it should make it more seamless. And we should have more success in that. And we have an incredible pool of players in Southern California to select from to get the right players into the system, and then help them to understand what our philosophies are and what the game and what the game entails at the professional level. So that is a very, very holistic look at development and what a long-term projection and view of it is. But it starts with clarity and identity and what we want our players to be able to do when they reach the first team.
I got a couple more questions before we get to the fan questions here. And, I know you've been asked this question, and I know that you've answered it in the press conferences. I'm not sure that the public has seen it yet. So I'll ask this question again. So I apologize if you've heard it about 10 times, but what would you consider a successful season in your first full season with the Galaxy, Greg?
I'm always out to win a championship, to win trophies. The first step in that is to make the playoffs. When you make the playoffs, then anything is possible. Once you get into the current playoff setup, one game, win and move on. So the first step for us is the playoffs in terms of objective measures. And subjective measures, we need to, again, establish our culture, establish the identity and the style of play. We need to continue to build our roster so we have the pieces that we feel are going to contribute to our success short-term and long-term, so that we build some stability in this roster and some projection, not just for 1 year, but for the next 5 years or however many years, so that we can start to have that consistent success that I think is expected of the Galaxy. It's not just one and done. We need to be successful and be competitive for championships every year. So there's some things that are subjective in there, and then the objective is we're playing for a championship. That's what we're all here for, and that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, I'll ask you the subjective one before we get to the fans, and that will be next, which will be you, Kevin, Dan, Kobe Jones. You guys have all talked about LA Galaxy culture. Tell me what it means to you.
Yeah, I think we saw a little bit of it this weekend, which is it is what we do every single day to live the life of what it means to be a championship team or club. So it is the sacrifice to be a champion. It is the belief and almost the arrogance, but with humility of what it takes and it means to be successful. But then to be courageous in your pursuit of being great. And that was my comments to the guys after the game. I don't know if some of them have been out, is like, you cannot fail. You cannot be afraid to fail in order to be great. You have to go for it. And if we fail, then we will work harder and we'll find the solutions. But we have to put ourselves out there each and every game and for each and every minute and not be afraid of failure in our pursuit to be great. And I think that's what the Galaxy culture is about, is you got to go for it. And with purpose and with hard work and with intent, you go for it. And that's what I learned when I was here. And that's what I hope to bring back to you.
All right. Now for the tough questions from the fans. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First one, Greg, do you feel the excitement for the fans, although you haven't seen us up close yet?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question, and thank you, Oscar. Yes, because I've been on a couple of the calls and Zoom calls with the supporter group. We had the supporters in Miami who traveled, but I also know what it's like to play in front of these fans, and so I know the fans are always behind this club. I'm so excited that we're actually going to get fans into the stadium, and hopefully by mid-June we're going to have the stadium full again. And it's our responsibility to entertain and give the fans, they always remember how you make them feel, the wins and the emotions of success again, so that people want to keep coming back. And we believe that our team and our fans are all one family, and the staff and everybody who's involved is all one family, and we're all in this together. I've felt that in my conversations with the fans that I've spoken to, and I remember that from my days here. So 100% feel the excitement. I can't wait to have everybody in the building and doing it together. Yeah,
I think it's going to be one giant leap forward as we look to heal and move on from this pandemic. Josh Ortega. Hey, Greg, when can you see Kevin Cabral in the match day squad?
Yeah, thanks for that question, Josh. I actually got some clarity today, to be honest. It's we hope that, not hope, it has become evident that he's going to have his visa appointment by the end of this week, and hopefully should be on a plane by Monday or Tuesday of next week. Then we've got to get him through the quarantine constraints that we have. So it'll be tight for Seattle, but we're certain, almost certain, that he'll be ready to go by the time we get to the LAFC game, which is match 4. So match day squad, we'll see when he gets here where he's at, but at least in the team, ready to go and ready to contribute to what we're doing, hopefully by that weekend.
Hey, can you give me a little bit about his attributes and what he brings to the Galaxy, what we should look for?
Yeah, he is he's a little bit of a modern day Kobe Jones in some ways.
Kobe's gonna love that.
That was just for Kobe. I don't know if he's on anywhere, but no, he's a depth runner. He is a one-on-one player. He is a runner who is constantly organizing how to get behind the defense, how to finish attacks, how to score goals, how to assist goals. We don't want him, and he's not super involved in the build-up and in the the setup of actions. He's constantly organizing. How do I get behind? How do I stretch the defense? How do I get to that end line? And how do I get to goal? And he has incredible speed. He kind of has Landon type of speed, in which you think he's at top speed, but then there's another gear all of a sudden. And it's kind of this gliding, smooth run, which I think you have to have in our league to be successful. Is you have to have guys who can get behind defenses, who have pace and that you can use in transition in the counterattack, but also pace that you can use again, to get to the end line. And that's going to change the game for Javier too, is when we start getting to the end line on a consistent basis, you're going to start to see him get better and better chances.
I have a question here from Greg, excuse me, from John Turney, excuse me, season ticket holder. I'll get to that. The next one coming up. What do you think about the 5 subs rule? I guess the question would be is, what's your philosophy on that? And how might it impact both single match and game-to-game strategy?
I like it right now. Whether it should stay in the future is for other people to decide. I like it right now for a couple of reasons. I think the way the schedule is going to be set up and the proximity of these games and how fast they're coming, I think it's important for us to be able to kind of spread minutes a little bit for guys so that we can get guys from game to game and the travel and the difficulties of MLS and everything that come with it. The second part is I like it because it really gives you options to impact the game in sometimes with 2 or 3 guys at a time. And so for me, short term, I like it. I don't know if it's the answer for the game long term, but I like having the ability to adapt in the game by using 2 or 3 guys at the same time, but still kind of having a guy in your pocket later on if you need something to happen. The third reason, and maybe the reason I like it the best right now, is because it really gives opportunities to younger players who might be your 4th or 5th sub, or maybe they're not the first sub off the bench, but a game changes a little bit, and now you can start to give a younger player some experience that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise given them if you only had 3 subs. I think it has been huge over the last year to give some young players across our league really opportunities to show themselves and to gain some experience and maybe to even prove that they're worthy of being a starter or something else. And so I think it's really helped those guys quite a bit.
All right. From Alex Kerpinski, what is our short-term and long-term goal with the under 22 initiative?
I think the under 22 would be just for everybody. I think what he's asking is kind of the youth fund and the youth DP strategy that it comes with that. So, for us, I think is having 2 senior DPs who are always at a high level and are impact players and making a difference for the team at the highest level. The third player being a youth DP gives us a lot of flexibility on the roster in so many different ways. It would probably take a while to explain them, but having a youth fund player or youth DP allows you to then open up 3 youth fund positions by which you could go out and pay any transfer fee to bring a young player under the age of 22 into your roster, and they go onto your roster for between $150,000 and $200,000. A senior DP comes onto your roster for $615,000. So it expands the depth that you have in your roster. Not only that, is you save GAM that you would normally have, which also expands your roster. So with that, you can get more. They'll be younger, but you can get more sort of difference-making players. You can add depth to your roster, and also from a financial standpoint, it gives you also the flexibility to plan long-term, but also to maybe have some players that you sell through that process that reinvest back into the team and so on and so forth. So it helps to create some balance, I think, in the roster long-term and short-term, and it allows you to build more depth within your roster. And those players can stay in those youth fund categories until they're 25 years old. So, they're not young players anymore by the time they're on the tail end of that. They should be real contributors by that point. So it really gives you kind of a chance to have some long-term vision and build the depth and quality of your roster. And the investment side too is always important. Owner likes that.
Younger, faster, better. Yeah, I like it. Let's take another one from the chat. Bring back the scarf. All right.
So, somebody's got to turn on the AC if I'm going to bring back the scarf, because it was 100 degrees. It felt like down in Miami. It'll come at the right times. Big games will bring out the scarf.
One more from me,
right.
and from season ticket member Elizabeth Avila, who is worried about the Galaxy defense. The defense, of course, has been struggling for the last couple of years, if not a little bit more than that. And Kobe and I have been talking about it on the broadcast as well. One stat that you may not want to have is your goalkeeper leading the league in saves. and the Galaxy goalkeepers have been doing that over the last couple of years. And so getting that under control, I guess, would be the number one topic at this point for Galaxy fans. How do you go about doing that?
This, for me, this is the answer to this question is multiple things. It's not just one thing. First is defending is front to back. So it's collective organization. It starts even when we have possession, if I may. So where we finish attacks, how we lose the ball, making sure that we're organized behind our attacks, all these kinds of things are important to us being a good defensive team. There were some moments in the last game where we failed on some of those categories, and we need to be better with that. And so that's one thing. Two is, I think, good defending comes from good leadership, and guys in the back, and our guys are learning this still and getting comfortable with this, is communication, and it's putting out fires and organizing things before anything even happens. It's not about making plays. It's about defending before you actually have to defend. It's about defending when you have the ball. It's about getting tight to people before the ball turns over. And again, some of these things we weren't where we wanted to be this weekend, and we're going to be better at them as we move forward. So it takes communication and organization, right? That's one of the first things. Second is our back line just being connected and reading things at the same time. And that was a little bit of an issue again on the weekend, where some guys are dropping and some guys are staying, and it's that comes from leadership. It comes from awareness of each other. We have center backs who are continuing to learn, and we have center backs who are experienced center backs. When all the center backs get in and our full backs get in and everybody's together, we will have one of the better back lines, if not the best back line in the league. That's why Dan Couchman is here. No pressure on Dan, but he is here to help guide our center backs and to teach them. But then we need the guys in front of them to make things predictable for our center backs. They can't be put in these situations where they're constantly having to put out fires. We have to make predictable plays predictable for them, and that's the 6 guys in front of them. So we could talk about this for days. I'll spare you, but this solution is not just one thing. It is a team thing, and we will improve upon it. Game by game. It's one of our goals, and the players set that as their goal. They want to be one of the best teams in the league and goals against. So we gave up 2 this weekend, and it's going to get better from here on out.
Well, it's great to have Dan back, but we need to remind him that you can't tackle like he did in the early times of Major League Soccer.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for talking to the fans, and good luck.
I look forward to seeing everybody at the stadium and celebrating together many a times down the road. So hopefully soon and down the road. So thank you for having me on. See you, Joe.
My pleasure. And congratulations on win number 1. A lot more to come.
Thank you.
Well, that's Galaxy manager Greg Vanney, and a good look at the Galaxy and his vision for your club. And before we hear from some of the newest faces of the LA Galaxy, please welcome your captain, Jonathan Dos Santos.
Hola amigos, soy Jonathan Dos Santos y bueno, los esperamos el domingo, día 25 de abril. Tenemos muchísimas ganas de verlos en el estadio. Ha sido un año muy complicado para todos nosotros, tanto para los jugadores como ustedes los fans. Y bueno, estamos muy excitados, ilusionados por verlos ahí, poder disfrutar de otra vez de un partido, de su aliento y bueno, nos vemos muy pronto. Los queremos y bueno, un fuerte abrazo.
Your LA Galaxy captain, helping to lead the way back to where the Galaxy belong. So since we last welcomed you all to Dignity Health Sports Park, Greg and his team had been obviously hard at work. We've talked about a few of those players coming into the LA Galaxy, from a new goalkeeper to a new striker. Kevin Cabral, you guys asked about that moments ago. A number of new faces will take the pitch for the Galaxy this season. A number of them did in the opening match at Miami, victorious. We will please welcome to goalkeeper Jonathan Bond, defender Derek Williams, and midfielder Victor Vasquez.
Hello.
Gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I will start out Back to front. How about that? Well, goalkeeper, midfielder, defender, and then midfielder. How about we do that? Jonathan,
Perfect.
congratulations on your first win in goal for the LA Galaxy. I know
Thank
it was a
you.
rather warm day in Miami, but you guys got it done.
Yeah, it was amazing spectacle, to be honest. The whole day was really impressive. The game was maybe a little bit slow the first half, but the second half, obviously, it warmed up, and I think everyone was just relieved and happy to come away with the 3 points.
Absolutely. I think the Galaxy fans were also happy and relieved that you did that for them. So thank you. You matched up against a player that I think you know very well by at least watching him abroad in his greatest days, in Gonzalo Higuain. What was it like knowing that he was hovering around your 18-yard box?
He's a dangerous player. He's very clever. You can see him always looking, always checking. So he may not be as mobile as what he used to, but he's still got the technical ability. So he's a good striker of the ball with both feet. When we watched him before the game, we could tell left foot, right foot, outside the box, inside the box. His movement's good. So plenty of things that we needed to be aware of. But I felt like on the day, the defenders dealt with him really well. So.
Yeah, not quite as mobile as he used to be. But there was that one shot in the first half that comes to mind where he was able to cross the defender, put the ball onto his left foot, and take the shot, and you were able to get to it with a very nice save, probably the best save of the afternoon. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And that must have felt good to get into the game, right? Goalkeepers like to get into the game, is what I understand, and that could have been the save that broke any rust that you may have had.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially in your first game, you kind of want to get an early save or an early touch or something. I don't think I touched the ball for the first 10, 15 minutes, but it was a good save. But really, the defender kind of closed the angle down. He only could go one side of the goal, and it was just about making sure I put it into a good area. So it kind of settled me down a little bit, I guess. But throughout the game, I felt relatively confident and yeah, I felt, like I said earlier, the defenders kind of kept him relatively quiet, to be honest. So it wasn't too difficult.
So I understand that the Galaxy is asking you to do maybe a little bit more with your feet than you may have done abroad, and in terms of your style of play and welcoming that into your game. How comfortable are you?
I enjoy that part of the game, to be honest. I think it suits me more as a goalkeeper to play that way than just try and kick it as far as we can and kind of get up every time. So I was pleased when I spoke to the manager in the summer or in the off season, and he said that he wanted to play that way. So it's part of the game that I enjoy. And to be fair, I did do it at West Brom and at other clubs that I've been at, Watford as well. So it's not something that's new. I guess, we have to be careful with it. We're not going to be playing in ridiculous kind of situations, but it's something that all kind of modern coaches look to do, and I feel like everyone who I play with, whoever's in the back four, seem very confident and very capable of doing that with me, which is important. So yeah, it's a good thing.
I want to bring Derek into this conversation with goalkeeper and defender and talk a little bit about communication and how important that is in terms of, for example, setting the offside line at the top of the 18 or a player coming from the right or left, the vision of the goalkeeper, the vision of the center back. Derek, first and foremost, welcome to the LA Galaxy, and thank you for coming to the club. That would be number one.
Thank you. No, it's good to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you all.
Where are you fitness wise, and are you ready? Are you not ready? Can you give us an update?
I'm not ready just yet. I'm not far off. I say I have another week or two. It just depends how I feel in training and everything like that. But no, I'm feeling good. I just can't wait to be out there, to be honest with you.
Outstanding. And then from what you've seen from your club, you have a different perspective. One that maybe is a bit frustrating because you want to be out there with your teammates and contributing. I understand that. But what you've seen from your club on the training ground and what you observed in the opening match, your impressions so far?
Yeah, it's very good. The day I got here, I've been impressed with the lads. Everyone's just so nice, and I feel like we got a good group of lads there, and I feel like we're all quite close together. And I feel like if you want to do well with a team, it's so important that everyone's close and everyone gets along with each other. And I feel like we have that here. And on the training ground, everyone looks good. I know we are missing quite a lot of players at the beginning, and it was a kind of a time for the young lads to show what they can do, and they did just as well. They were very good as well, and the more the new players came, Victor, Samuel, the level just went up again, and I just can't wait to get out there and to try help contribute as much as I can.
And a reminder, folks, your questions are more than welcome. You can ask questions for the group or questions individually. And of course, we always ask you to be respectful, because if you're not, your question won't be asked. I will tell you that much. But next question will go to Victor Vasquez. And Victor, you are kind of the veteran of the group, only because I say this in the fact that you played for Greg Vanney before. So can you give us a player's view of what it's like to play for Greg?
Yeah, thank you to have me here also. Yeah,
you.
be 2 years for Greg. I think the first year that I was playing in Toronto, 2017, it was an amazing year for us because we won the treble and we did amazing things. Like Derek and Jonathan was saying also, I think the group that we are creating and we have right now, it's an amazing group that we have already an identity. I think Greg also really knows what we want to do, to enjoy with the ball, to have fun always with the ball, try to have the possession as much as possible, like we saw in the first game in Miami, having like 66 or 67% of possession. That I think it means a lot for us because it's the first game. We have a lot of new players that we didn't play that much together, only like a couple of games in the preseason. I just came 2 weeks ago here and we have to adapt to each other. I think we are doing great. I think it's going to come for sure a great and good times because the group, like I said, the group we have, I really like it and I really feel that we're going to have a really good season and hopefully we can do the same as that we did in Toronto. We can do it in LA.
Hopefully you do it for multiple times in Los Angeles, Victor. Talk about that game just a bit, because in the first half you talked about the possession earlier with Greg. We talked about that 67% possession that you had in the first half, but it seemed to be around the offensive third, not necessarily in the 18. Second half, about 10 minutes in, things changed. You seem to be able to release a little bit more. Also, Sebastian Lletget became more part of the attack in the match, and I think that's attributed to the substitutions that were made in terms of getting that second forward in. But you seem to be a lot more comfortable once that happened. Can you talk about that change in the match?
Yeah, like also Derek and Jonathan said, I think the subs, they were doing amazing. I think Greg did the right things. He told us on the halftime that he's gonna do some changes because he was like seeing that some things like we were not like doing the right things at the moment. We were having the control of the game, like Jonathan was saying, like controlling the ball and having like many passes maybe in our half. And like you said, I feel more comfortable when we play in the last third of the field, you know, because this is my game. I like to give assists to the strikers, to the wingers, to the guys that they are coming into the box, and then felt much better. And I think we did an amazing second half. That's why we turned up the game. We won the game. I think, like I said, the subs did an amazing job. Like the young guys, like Ethan, Cam, all the guys that they came in, I think they made the change for sure. Because we make them tired at the beginning of the game, the first half, and then in the second half, where we did our job, the most important.
Certainly in the second half, you guys were able to break the lines and create a lot of problems for them. They seemed maybe more comfortable than they should have been in the first half, but certainly it was their home opener. You guys were on the road. The conditions were very difficult to play in. And so I understand you have to conserve and get to the second half, and you responded. And that's something that, gentlemen, Galaxy fans haven't seen in the last few years. And so we're very happy to see that, if I can speak for Galaxy fans, is the fact that how this club responded, how this club adjusted, how this club finished on the road. And that's a tip of the cap to everybody who was able to play in the match. Derek, can I ask you about VAR and having to set the offside line? Something that the Galaxy maybe were hard done over in that first match. What is your philosophy now, knowing that flag is not going to go up, but you still want to catch somebody offside, maybe around the center circle or even at the top of the box?
Yeah, I think we were definitely hard done by with that first goal. I think it was definitely offside. But I'm going to approach it the same way as I always do. If I think someone's running off and they make an early run, I'm going to step up. And then I'm still going to react until the whistle goes. I'm not going to stop until I hear the whistle. So I'm going to keep playing on until I hear the whistle. And then I think that's all you can do, really. But like I said, if I see a runner go early, I'm going to step up and communicate to the back four and try. Because you have to play offside as well. Otherwise, the game gets stretched. And then that's what the striker wants you to do. They want you to drop deeper, and then it makes more space for their whole team. So it's important we have a good line and make sure that Bondi's out of his box, just in case if the ball goes over the top, he's there to clear it away as well. So I'll be on his case as well. But no, it's a whole team thing. Like the gaffer said earlier, just about communication. So that's it.
We got some questions in the chat that we'll get going here in a moment. Jonathan, talking about the offside line and the communication, and what Derek just mentioned moments ago. How far will you venture outside your box?
I've been doing it quite a few times in pre-season, so I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. But in terms of leading that line, I think it does have to come from one of the centre backs in the middle of the line, especially when you're really high up the field, and then I can kind of sweep up behind the best I can. But I think the habits that they need to get into will just come naturally. I think playing with each other more and more. And I think, to be fair, like Derek was saying, it was really unlucky the fact that they didn't give that offside for their first goal. So yeah, I think it's something that we want to stay high and kind of condense the pitch and keep the game in their half and apply pressure. So it's something we have to do and we have to get good at.
All right, gentlemen, those are my questions. How about some questions from the fans now? Feel the Berm. Have they had an In-N-Out yet? How about that? Have you had an In-N-Out burger yet?
Oh yeah,
I have. I had it about 2 days ago. Yeah, it was nice. My fiance, she was dying for it, so she was like, "Can we go today, please?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." So don't tell the coaches I had that, but yeah, I had it 2 days ago. It was good.
I had a double. Is that what it's called? Or am I getting that? Is that wrong? I think
you got it right.
With animal fries. Yeah,
animal fries.
Yeah.
Well done, Victor. Have you had a chance?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
I will, but I will soon for sure.
It's one of our Southern California, I guess, tourist stops these days now is In-N-Out. I will stay away from In-N-Out because my body can't afford to do that anymore. So next question from Justin Estrada. Where is your go-to spot to eat? Okay. Always see that you like going to the beach for Bondi here.
Has he seen me out by the beach or what? A few places. Do you know what? I was in the hotel in and around Manhattan Beach for quite a while. So and to be fair, Derek was living there as well. So we would go for dinner in and around Manhattan quite a bit. But now that I've moved up closer to Santa Monica, I've kind of just been trying different places. I don't have a regular. There's a place called Zinc that we go to a couple of times for lunch. But there's so many places. It would be a bit strange just to go to one place over and over again. It's good to kind of see what's out there.
Well, I'm glad you survived having to be by the beach. I know that must have been difficult.
Tough life.
Hilarious. Let's bring another one in from the fans. HM, Victor Vasquez. What can you do to help the development of the young players in this roster?
Yeah, like you said before, my experience. Well, many things I think is like try to be like always like strict to them, like be hard in the good way, you know, like teaching them like some good things that I really know, like for example to guys like Efrain Alvarez, or now with Carlos, with Adam, the guys that normally play in the midfielder. It's more easy for me because I can tell them what to do, where to look. When you have to control with one foot or the other foot just to move the ball faster to the one side or to the other side. Just check around always to have like I always say, one of my best skills is like a split vision, you know. Try to look around the game and your mates, you know, and know always where are your mates, because I think it's really important when you just take the ball and try to play fast. You know that, for example, Grand Sir is going to be in the white in the left, and you can control the ball and put like a long ball there because he's going to be there, or Chicha is just in front, or now Sebastian is playing on the right. Some that it's simple things, but that you have to react really fast. And I'm lucky that I was playing for Barcelona many years, and then I got that really young. But it's like I said, simple things, but it's the hardest things to put on the game.
So, Victor, in terms of talking about the young players, and whether it's Efra or Cameron Dunbar or Ethan Zubak, who's had a few years with the senior side, making that jump to be able to be a regular in the first 11, impressing your manager enough to have the confidence in you to be out there game in and game out as a first selection player. Can you describe that jump for those players, how difficult it may be?
Yeah, it's always difficult. And when you have a group like we have right now here in LA, you have many good players and also like experienced players. We have like with now Derek, Jonathan, Chicharito, Sebastian, all these guys that you have like I say always, like world class players, you know. I think for them, it's also really important to work hard every day to show to the coach that they can improve, that they want to improve. And the most important, when you have the chance, like, for example, this weekend, Ethan had, Cam had, Carlos had, I think they have to show, and they have to show up. They did it. I think Greg for sure really appreciate that, and I know Greg very well, and for sure he does. And it's the most important. When you have the chance, just get it, because after you will get more and more and more, and then you will get the confidence from the coach. And then one day you will be like always from the start 11.
And let's bring in the next question from the fans. How nice is it playing with fans and atmosphere compared to how it's been the past year? Gentlemen? Derek, we'll start with you.
Well, I haven't experienced it just yet, but it makes a massive difference. Football's not the same without the fans. They make the game what it is. So I'm looking forward to seeing this Sunday, having the fans back at the stadium. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be fit, but I'll be there cheering the lads on.
Well, it'll help you heal a little faster. How about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Jonathan and Victor. Jonathan, you first. What was it like? I mean, obviously, in Miami, they had, I believe, about 9,000 fans on hand. It's not a very large facility, so I'm assuming they made a lot of noise behind you.
Yeah, they did. They did, actually. It was great, to be honest, even just in the warm-up when you come out, just to feel there were fans there and the atmosphere was kind of building. And because we've been off season for like 2-3 months or whatever, I kind of forgot about the fact that last season there were no fans, so it kind of felt normal again, and it felt good to be back. But even from the pre-season games that we played, it's like a training game and there's no fans there, so it's very difficult mentally to have that extra kind of. You have to push yourself to have that kind of extra, like it's like an adrenaline almost that gets you through, you know, when there's a full crowd or a full stadium. So no, it was great. It was great on Sunday to experience that again.
Yeah, Victor, you can feel the fans, the energy in the building. You can feel even when you're in a build-up situation, or maybe even in a match where it's 82nd minute and it's a tense situation. You can also feel that as well as a player, no?
Yeah, of course, all of us, we love to play with supporters, with fans. I think without fans, it's not football anymore, you know, it's not soccer. I was used now to play also in Qatar without fans because the people doesn't come to the stadium that much. Then I was playing the last year and a half there that I was feeling also like Bondi was saying, like a training. Like you can hear all the things that is not like usual, and you feel bad because you know that normally football, like in Miami, happen now when you are talking with your mates. Sometimes you have to shout even more because the fans are also shouting and singing and whatever they are doing, you know. And this is the good feeling that we want to have. And now this week at home also, we're going to have, I don't know, maybe like 6,000, 7,000 support fans. And at least it's something. We're going to feel the warmth from the supporters. And I think it's going to be fine. And I think we're going to enjoy it for sure.
I really believe you will be hearing from the Galaxy faithful here because everybody's excited about being back in the building. We have time for a couple of more questions for you, gentlemen. Which game are you most excited for this season? That's from Galaxy DN.
For me personally, I think it's the LAFC game at home. I always enjoy playing derby games, so that's definitely one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, the same for me. LAFC is the one you kind of look for first time on the. As soon as the fixture list or the schedule comes out, we look for your local rival, and we know that's LAFC here. We played them in pre-season. It didn't feel like a pre-season game. It felt like a competitive game just because who it was against. And then for me personally, also the Sounders, because that's where my mum's from and I have family up there. So I know they're very fanatical as well up there. So I'm looking forward to that game too.
Well, just so you guys know, San Jose is like a stepbrother, and they're going to try to get it to you every time. So that's another one. The Cali Classico is another one that you guys should be aware of coming up. Victor, I know you played in this league, so you've seen some of these derby games. Having maybe paid attention to the Galaxy from the opposite side of the continent, what do you think?
Yeah, for me it would be great to play against Toronto, of course. But this season we won't. We will not play against them, and I would love to come back to Toronto and feel again, you know, the people from Toronto that I love them so much, and I had so many good time there. But of course, like Derrick and Bondi said, El Tráfico will be the biggest game here. I'm ready and I'm looking forward to play this game. And the rest, like normal games, I love to play against everyone. I love to play soccer, and every game is going to be so important and excited.
All right, one more from the fans. From Hilma Gonzalez. Are you guys ready for Sunday? We're so excited to see you all. So are we.
Derrick, I don't know if he's ready.
Kind of put Derrick on the spot. Sorry about that, Derrick.
Yeah.
I wish he was ready.
No,
I wish to.
We're definitely ready. I feel like there's a great atmosphere throughout the change room, especially after the first win. The plane journey back was amazing. Everyone was in great spirits. So hopefully we can use this. We gain a little bit of momentum now and use that last result to really play how we kind of we should have played from the start against Miami.
Well, I can tell you, having done on most of these games throughout the LA Galaxy's history, it was very nice to see the response that you had in the second half and getting that victory. Unfortunately, in the last few years, we haven't had that second half response from the club, and seeing that was very encouraging. We wish you guys, first of all, nothing but very good health. Derrick, back to 100% very soon, and good luck on Sunday. And thank you for joining us and talking to the fans tonight.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Well, on Sunday the 25th, your Galaxy will host their first home match in front of fans in 414 days. Over those 414 days, the LA Galaxy and Dignity Health Sports Park staff have been working hard to make the Carson community a safer place. In February, Dignity Health Sports Park hosted a vaccination clinic to vaccine over 20,000 Carson residents. As you return to Dignity Health Sports Park, we want to make everyone feel as safe as possible. Please watch this short video to see what you can expect when you return to your home, Dignity Health Sports Park. We're almost there. Almost there, Galaxy fans. Just a few more days, and we know this time comes with a lot of uncertainty. The safety and health of our members continues to be our top priority with the Galaxy and Dignity Health Sports Park. And to help answer any questions you may have, please welcome LA Galaxy President Chris Klein and Dignity Health Sports Park General Manager Katie Pandolfo. Welcome, folks. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. How about that?
Happy New Year, Joe.
Happy New Year.
You both. And then, Chris, I saw a big smiling picture of you on social media coming back from Miami. So that had to be not only joy, but relief to get off on the right foot, right?
Yeah, I don't know, relief. It was nice to go down there and see our good friend Mr. Beckham and come away with a victory, starting Greg's tenure here with the club and doing it the right way. I was listening to you talk to Jonathan, to Derek, and to Victor, and those are just three of the new people that we have, and certainly excited to have our community back in our stadium so they can see. So they can see their Galaxy in action. We're cautiously optimistic about things that they've been building. It's been one preseason and one regular season game, but we're going to keep building, and they've done an excellent job, and we can't wait to be back with our community.
And Katie, you've been working hard over the last year or so, trying to keep the building safe for the staff that was working there at the time. And I can tell you from the games that I was able to broadcast from there, both on television and the radio games that we had to do out of the facility, even for away games, that security as well as safety was number one. So thank you very much for that, first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Joe. The safety and security of our staff, of our guests, of our players is our absolute number one priority. And we've taken a lot of time over the past few months to ensure that we have a number of things in place to welcome fans back. As you mentioned, it's been 414 days since we've had people in our stadium. We could not be more excited to welcome fans back. There are some little modifications that we've made to create a contactless journey as folks come back into the stadium to make sure everyone feels safe as they're entering Dignity Health Sports Park. But we are still going to offer an incredible experience and can't wait to see everybody on Sunday.
So I think maybe the biggest question, and Chris and Katie, you can answer these individually, is what's changed? What am I going to have to do now? What's my requirement to get into the building? And I think the video showed a lot. Was there anything else that maybe the fans should think about as they prepare to go to Dignity Health Sports Park, and what to leave and what to take with them?
I think the biggest thing is just remember to bring a mask. Last year we initiated digital ticketing. We have digital parking. We're going to have mobile food and beverage ordering. So that's a little different than in years past. But the biggest difference is bringing a mask. And you won't have somebody that's not in your group sitting directly next to you, but they will be close to you, which is going to, provide still a really good experience, but a good safe distance. So we're encouraging people not to bring bags if you can. It will speed up the lines getting in. But if you have to, please bring a clutch or a clear bag. But other than that, download your Galaxy app, pre-purchase your parking, have your tickets, everything on your app. You can mobilely order all your food and beverage and come in and have an excellent time.
Chris, this has been also a rather odd year for you from the team standpoint. Can you talk about how you're able to keep the team together? I know a lot of the staff had to not be able to work in the facility, and the difficulty of keeping that rhythm going when you're trying to keep everybody on the positive foot.
Yeah, we were knocked off rhythm like everyone else, and to be able, you wished everyone a happy new year. You're like me. We measure our calendar on the season. So we got started last weekend, and, I can't say enough about our group, Katie's team and our group and everything that they've done. I can't wait for everyone to be back and see Dignity Health Sports Park. It looks more beautiful than ever. I'm so thankful for the place that we get to play, and, going through a season last year without our people with us, just it didn't feel right to anyone. You hear the players talk about it, and even to have some of you back with us, we couldn't be more excited. It's been a lot of work, but we feel more than prepared to offer an amazing experience to to our community when they come back and watch our team play.
Katie, I know that fans are bursting in terms of excitement and it's almost like Christmas Day, honestly. And instead of opening one package at a time, they could want to open them all at one time. And you don't want that necessarily. But at some point here soon, and maybe that's June 15th, if everything goes well, your stadium is going to be wide open once again. So I imagine you're probably putting in systems already to ramp up for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're definitely following state and local guidance for the next 30 days, and we are ramping up. You know, I think June 15th is that date that's in the back of everyone's mind, but we're just waiting until it's safe. And then, like you said, we want to blow open the doors and welcome everybody back in. We will do it in a very safe manner, but we are excited for that day to come.
Man, I can't wait. I cannot wait to hear the roar of that crowd once again, and the energy of that building, the best building in Major League Soccer. Go ahead, argue with me, anybody. I'll tell you, I'll take that argument. But we'll actually go to some of the fans' questions as well. And I believe I have one already via email that I received earlier today from John Tierney. And I think this one will probably go to you, Chris. What is the vision for evolving Legends Plaza and the stadium overall?
Yeah, I mean, the vision is to keep improving on what we have, specifically Legends Plaza. There is a statue number 2 plan that will communicate later this year, and we're hopeful to be able to unveil that later this year. And the space has been transformed, and we want it to be a gathering place. Just like when people come in to watch our games, we have, as you said, the best atmosphere in Major League Soccer when we're in the stadium. We also want to provide that full experience to everyone, and whether that's someone coming and experiencing our history and some of the players that we've had and what we've been able to achieve over our 25 years, now our 26th season, we want to continue to do that. And Katie and I are constantly pushing and trying to find new ways to modernize our stadium and to keep up with some of the stadiums that are around the country and around the world. And we're very proud that we continue to get investment from AEG and from Mr. Anschutz and with Dan to allow us the freedom to be able to do that. So Katie mentioned a few of the things that we had before, but we're not going to stop. I mean, we keep going with trying to improve our fan experience and give everyone the best time that they can have at a Galaxy match.
And Katie and Chris, I would imagine with a company like AEG and all the buildings that AEG operate throughout the world, and just down the street with Staples Center as well, another state-of-the-art facility, you get an opportunity to say, hey, this would work at our place and this may not, correct?
Absolutely. You know, looking, as you mentioned, on the street at Staples Center or some of the best venues in this country and abroad, we have the ability to tap into this knowledge in the AEG network and definitely look at things that work for them and that would work at our facility and vice versa. You know, there's a number of things that we've piloted at our venue that they've stolen for Staples Center. So we're proud of those accomplishments too.
The other one I have here in front of me is, and I think you've spoken to this, but maybe you can give a little more visual because I think that helps a little bit. What changes have been made to the DHSP to ensure the safety of the fans in terms of entrances, restrooms, things like that?
Sure. So, I mean, the biggest change you're going to see is additional signage, reminding everybody of some of the new rules of distancing and reminding people to wear their masks when they're not eating or drinking. The other visual cue that we will have is the seats that are not meant to be occupied by fans will have strapping on them, so you cannot physically sit there. But other than that, I think the stadium is going to look a lot like you remembered it, which is exactly how we wanted it to be for all of our guests as they walk back into our home.
And I can tell you, fans, the pitch looks great.
It's better than I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it is ready to go. It looks outstanding. Next question, if we can bring that one up, we'll go from there. Is tailgating grilling allowed from Ricky Water 13?
So unfortunately, it is not. We cannot permit any gathering at this time, but we are hoping to have tailgating reinstated within the next month or so.
Almost there, Galaxy fans, almost there. What about the next one? When is the shuttle coming back?
So similar situation. We're working with Long Beach Transit on a plan to bring the shuttle back, but it just we have to work out the social distancing on the shuttle, and we're working through those details. Hopefully, have it back by the middle of the summer.
I think we have a time for a few more if we have those in the queue. From Justin Estrada, is the cookie truck going to be there?
Yes, it is. And I tried to move Kathy's cookies to a different location, and she would have none of it. So it'll be back in the same location, right next to the southeast vehicle gate.
That's awesome. I guess I'm going to be getting some cookies as well. Can we eat and drink at the seat if it's not a VIP seat?
Yes, actually, you're encouraged to eat and drink in your seat. The only exception for is anybody who's sitting in rows A and B or on field side seats, which there is a MLS League rule to not remove your mask in those seats because of the proximity to the players. But you are encouraged to eat in your seats or on the main plaza. We will have all the picnic tables set up. And as long as you're sitting with the group that you came with, you're allowed to sit at all those picnic tables.
Well, just so you know, from one of the Galaxy staff members, the cookie truck is fire. So you guys did really good in allowing the truck to come back. That's great. How about our next question? From the Galaxy Guy podcast, question for Mr. Klein. Is the club still pursuing any more signings before the closing of the current transfer window? We have another one opening up, don't we?
Well, no, ours actually, they extended our transfer window to stay open. I think it's actually into May. And the short answer is yes. We have, I think, 2 signings over the line that we're hopeful to be able to announce in the next couple days. Kevin Cabral has also received his appointment for his paperwork. And so we're hopeful that he's able to fly to LA a week from Monday and be able to hopefully get up to fitness very soon. And then we'll add at least one more and another one either in the summer window or right prior to the summer window. So expect at least 2 more signings. And we still have some flexibility. I mean, they've done a very good job of building the team like Greg wants to build it in a manner that he wants to play and adding some quality pieces to build on what we already have.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. The next question. Chris, were you close to Vanney when you guys played together back in the day?
We were close. I mean, Greg's a little bit older than I am, but Greg and I played together with the Galaxy. We actually retired around the same time. And as we were both getting towards the end of our careers, I was always amazed at the thoughtfulness of Greg. He always had a notebook on him and was always drawing up plays and had the mind of a coach, certainly when we played. And he's one of the great character guys that I've been around in terms of the way he's able to gather people around him and lead a group. And in just a short period of time, I've really been able to see that and how he's gathered our group that we have this year and also really loves and bleeds our colors. And he was away for a while and had some success in Toronto. But really couldn't wait to get back and invest himself into this project.
Well, it's great to have him back, and certainly it's great to get off on the front foot, especially with that come from behind victory in Miami. We have time for one more question. Now that the standing section is complete, what other upgrades can we look forward to at the stadium?
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, we continue to drive and try. We've made some improvements downstairs that you would never see that, lend itself to our soccer operations and trying to modernize some of those, both inside and outside. Safe Standing was a great project that we were able to partner with our supporters and build the Victoria block. And we want to continue to build that experience for them and continue to, like I said, modernize our building. We're constantly looking and emulating places around the world that we think do it better than we do in some areas, but that evolution never stops and we're constantly pushing.
I guess I have a question in that regard as well, and I'll let you go after this one. In terms of, the city of Los Angeles is going to be hosting some mega events in the not too distant future, and the biggest of which would probably be the Olympics that are not that far down the road. And
you mean the World Cup, Joe?
Well, that one too. But I kind of figured our stadium would be involved in the Olympics when it was first announced. And so is there anything in the queue for the stadium to, I don't know, be prepped for that? Or, Chris, the World Cup before that?
Yeah, I'll take the Olympic question. Absolutely. When that was announced, we will be home to 5 sports for the 2028 games, which we're very excited about. If you remember, it was supposed to be the 2024 Olympics, and then it was pushed another 4 years. So we definitely have a plan to look at the modernization of some of our facilities to bring them up for modernization for all the sports that we'll host, but then also all of the sports that we have now. So between tennis, field hockey, cycling, rugby, which are just some of the sports that we'll be hosting, we will look at a number of our facilities and probably in a couple of years look at renovations.
So, Chris, in terms of the World Cup, I wasn't sure if our stadium would be in the queue just because of the larger stadiums that are in the city. But is it in the queue at this moment? Is it still in the running?
Not as a venue for games, but we are right in the middle of the LA bid and are central to that. And our facility is, I mean, the best one that they're looking at in terms of a training facility for some of the federations. And we have 2 amazing stadiums in the Rose Bowl and SoFi that are also bidding for games. And so the one thing we always hear is you don't find a facility like ours. With a world-class stadium and world-class training facilities on 160 acres in Los Angeles. And so we're so proud of that and so proud of what we've been able to do there and in our community in Carson and with the people there. And we continue, as you said, to improve and to build on it, but we're certainly proud of our home.
So do you want to give a hint at what the second statue might be?
You can guess, Joe. We'll try to announce it soon.
I'll keep it to myself because I don't want to be wrong. How about that? Chris and Katie, listen, thank you very much for working so hard to get us back to normalcy, the normalcy that we hope to have one day once again. So thank you very much. For me, I'll just speak for me. It is my home away from home. It has been that since 2003 when the Galaxy moved in to the facility, and prior to that, the Rose Bowl. I love my spot and where I'm at, and I cannot wait to be there and having fans cheering in the building beginning with this Sunday. So thank you very much, and congratulations on a job well done.
Thanks, Joe. We look forward to seeing everyone on Sunday.
All right, and to say we at the LA Galaxy miss all of our members and supporters would be an understatement, folks. This Sunday, the Galaxy community will return to Dignity Health Sports Park for the first time in over a year. Even though we can't host fans in full capacity just yet, but it's coming, we will make our voices heard around the league. Yes, you will. Thank you for attending today's community virtual town hall. We look forward to seeing you all at the match soon, but seeing you all this Sunday when your LA Galaxy take on the New York Red Bulls and looking to go 2-0 on the season. Thank you for being here tonight. Again, we hope this finds you well, continued good health, and be kind to one another, everybody. Have a great night.
This is our home, nuestra casa. We've been here since I was born. And this is my family. It's a big family. Some of them get a little crazy. We like to get together and celebrate the little things and the big things. This is my city. Esta es mi ciudad. So is this and this. My family is proud. We defend what's ours. Defendemos lo nuestro. We attack what's yours. And whether we're up or we're down, we never stop singing.